Now then, today we're going to be playing a game where you get to fulfill your desires to deal illicit substances to a very normal set of residents in a fictional town. And we ended up finding ways to make obscene amounts of money in surprisingly legal ways by gambling everything, stealing our products from our customers, and using a few other exploits we managed to find. Welcome to Schedule 1. So the game has us start in a little prologue in a Breaking Bad style RV where we take our uncle's truck, head into town, and go and deal some drugs to the local residents. Being wary of the single policeman patrolling the town. But don't worry, we have a quick way of dealing with him. Oh, excuse me. Oh my god. Are you alright? Oh no, he's fine. Okay, see you later. Upon returning to the RV, we get seized by the Rozzers, and we have to move to a new town, completely on our own. And nothing says a trustworthy dealer like someone who looks like they're on the edge of death. But don't worry, the locals made us feel especially welcome. So we check into our motel room, our base of operations, ready to take on the task at hand. Going to the hardware store to buy supplies to grow. But just look at how far away that is. I'm not walking that far. So allow me to introduce you to the first little exploit I discovered. Bins. If you just hop on top of them and mash spacebar while Blair witching into the wall, something interesting happens. Pressing space more times means you go higher, and this can actually be used in the demo of the game. One simple jump and you've bypassed the paywall. Well, sort of. I don't think much of the game actually exists beyond this area, besides some interesting roads and strange graves. Anyway, I digress. We can use this glitch to fly across the map, landing directly on top of the hardware store, and we can use the tools we bought to set up our first little operation, and not before long, we've got our first plant. All we need to do is package it up and deal it out. Now, one interesting thing is that after making a successful deal, you can just pickpocket your product right from the customer, later selling it right back to them. But you have to be careful to do this right because they can get a little upset. Oh, he's angry with me. Sorry, sir. Quick, to the bins. You can't get me up here. But done successfully, you can basically ensure infinite money, as long as the cops don't catch you. You never catch me alive. But now, on to my favorite part of this game. The casino. Time to gamble. Let's play some cards. And look at that. We just made $200. Now, in case you lose your money, which I definitely didn't, by the way, there's nothing stopping you from just quitting the game and restarting to before you lost by simply flying back to the casino and starting from fresh. And if we just keep repeating this process... Alright, we've been doing this for a little while, and I actually found something more interesting. Let's turn our attention to the slot machines. These machines have a relatively low win rate, but you can win money. And it turns out, when you have enough money, you'll just win the jackpot before you lose too much. Meaning, if you just sit here and play all of the machines at once with the maximum bet. Okay, I think that's enough. I've been sat here with my money printers and I'm up to a sweet $140,000. That's enough gambling for today. Thank you for your donation. So now it's finally time to end the day and start building our empire. Not that there's much point anymore. I mean, we've made all the money we could ever need. Let's just go and deposit our winnings into the bank. Ah. I see. The game appears to be fighting back. So basically, we can't actually use any of this cash to buy most items. We need to find a way to launder our dirty cash so we can bypass this limit by buying a laundromat. And besides, I can't be walking around with all this cash in my hand. Oh. Evening, officer. All we do here is put in the maximum amount of cash we're allowed to, and in 24 hours, the money should appear in our bank. And whilst we wait for that, we may as well sell the remainder of our product. I'm going to pickpocket everyone. Anyway, with all this money, there's no way I'm staying in a one-star travel lodge. It's time to upgrade our base of operations, set up our new equipment in our brand new apartment, and once packing some more product, we're ready for business. Dealing to customers, stealing the product out of their pocket, and dealing it again. But this dealing stuff is getting tiresome. I'm sick of walking everywhere. It's time to get ourselves a new set of wheels, so we can just head on over to the car dealership where there's various premium choices on offer, none of which we can technically afford since our money is still being slowly laundered. If we're going to be high rolling around town, we're going to need to launder our money a lot quicker. For now, let's just settle on a different set of wheels. Wait, this is so much faster than walking. Why did we not get this before? Which gave me a little idea. Whoa. Right, if we just ride the skateboard now. Oh my god. We actually go further. Oh, we're so quick. So back to the task at hand. We need to launder thousands more dollars in order to progress further in the game. So I went and bought myself a post office, doubling the amount of laundering I can do. But that still doesn't solve the issue of having to manually meet every customer just to rob them. It's time to hire a dealer. Unfortunately, the dealer can't pickpocket our customers for us, but he does take a 20% commission from us, which is a robbery in some sort of way. And whilst our dealer handles distribution, we can turn our attention to the next part of this game. Mixing. By buying random shite from the gas station, we can mix it with our strains to concoct up some brand new ones. Here, we need to try and appeal to our customer preferences. I mean, I'm all for having preferences, but if you like your drugs lethal, you're not in it for the right reasons. Like this one, which I combined with banana. And this one, which I combined with a can of Coke. No, not that kind of Coke. With our new strains on offer, our operation needed more room to expand. So it was time to move out of the apartment and into the bungalow. And to move all of our stuff, we headed back to the dealership. Something tells me we're not supposed to be up here. Not to buy our sick whip, but to buy a cheap Ford Transit so we could transport all of our goods to our new house. Goodbye apartment and hello bungalow. And after a little bit of setting up, I tell you what, nothing says home like a skip in the garden and a living room full of weed. It was time to move on to the next phase. Because our business had expanded so quickly, there wasn't a chance I was going to tend to all these plants myself. So it was time to go and hire some employees. And I had to wait until 6 PM to gain access to a sketchy warehouse, which sold various weapons. Is that a frying pan? Oh, I just killed myself with a frying pan. Premium growing equipment and workers. I'll just start off with a single botanist and a handler. These minimum wage troopers are going to oversee the farm and package up the product whilst I'm out doing other things. All we have to do is assign them some pots, tell them where to get supplies from, and then tell them where to place our product. And the rest is entirely handled by them. Yes, that's right. Work, my minions. Don't worry about me, standing uncomfortably close. Now I can spend more time experimenting with more strains of weed. I think I'm going to keep the name of this one as the default. So now the process is almost fully automated. Wait, am I paying this guy to pretend to do work? It was just a case of creating more strains, pushing out some more product, and at one point we started cooking meth, but we don't talk about that. And now we can start growing some more premium stuff. This is like if Hello Kitty made weed. By combining more items with the strains, customers are willing to pay a much higher premium. Not that it matters when I'm just robbing it right off them anyway. And to further increase our productivity, we can use enhancements like fertilizer to increase the quality of the yield, and what I'm pretty sure is just blue slush puppy to speed up the rate of the growth. And I think at this point, I was becoming a bit of an urban legend around town, known for my hit strains such as Fat Cum and Thick Smegma. Now I've made a bit of a name for myself. Oh, looks like the local crackhead wants some beef. It was starting to get a bit crowded in the dark bungalow. I mean, my staff beds are all bunched up against each other. Not that I think they mind. And if I was going to become the biggest dealer in town, I was going to have to scale up even more. So to fully maximize my laundering capabilities, I went full wall to white and bought myself a car wash to launder even more money, slowly buying out every business in town. And next, my bloodshot eyes were set on the next property to expand our farm. And as if I was never here, it was time to upgrade again to the barn. With a space like this, the possibilities are endless. Think of all the things I could do in here. Weed. We're building a weed farm. Now this is where things really start to scale up. I mean, there's not actually much point in growing this much since I made my money elsewhere, but we still need to push product in order to progress in the game. As a wise man once said, it's not about the money, it's about sending a message. So I went ahead and got all my new workers set up with the new beds, briefcases full of money, and list of new responsibilities. Let me give you the quick tour. These guys over here grab items from these shelves and tend after these plants, making sure they're fully watered, and then once fully grown, they take all the snippets to this shelf over here, where our handlers grab it, grab some bags, and package it up before putting it on this shelf, and I can just grab it, skate my way around town, and give it to the dealers. And if you're worried that they'll ever spill our trade secrets of our strains, we have a very special way of dealing with that. Now my farm is pretty much automated, and with a new dealer recruited, I've pretty much taken over the town. And all whilst my minimum wage workers handle all the dirty work, and I keep an eye on them from above, I can take the profits and retire to the casino. God, I love gambling.